Hello. Today we are going to talk about something incredibly difficult but also incredibly important. Revenge porn. If this is something that's affecting you or maybe someone you care about, my goal here is to give you a really clear, practical guide to taking back control of your life. So let's get right into it. I want to start with this quote because it gets right to the heart of the matter. This is not just about being embarrassed. It's a profound violation. It's a form of harassment. And if you're going through this, I need you to know that whatever you're feeling right now is completely valid. You are not alone. Right, so first things first, let's break down what we're actually dealing with here. Understanding the definition is step one, but just as vital is getting to grips with the very real, very painful impact it has. So at its core, what it boils down to is this: someone sharing your private, intimate media without your permission. The two key things to remember here are the lack of consent to share and the fact that it's done to cause distress. It's a nasty form of online harassment, and I want to be really clear, in the UK, it is both a criminal offense and a civil wrongdoing. Now, this is a huge one. It's a question that honestly creates so much unnecessary guilt and shame for so many people. It's often the very first thing that comes to mind, so let's tackle it head on. And the answer is a hard no. Absolutely not. Let me say that again so it really sinks in. Consenting to an image being taken is not, and never will be, the same as consenting to it being shared. The law is very clear on this. The second it was shared without your permission, a line was crossed and an offense was committed. Full stop. And this is why the law takes it so seriously. Because the fallout from this, well, it's devastating. It goes so much deeper than just embarrassment. We're talking about severe emotional and psychological distress, which can even lead to physical health problems. These feelings of constant fear, shame, and violation can literally take over your life. Okay, so we know it's wrong, but actually doing something about it, that's a whole other story. Many people who experience this face massive hurdles, both in their own minds and from the outside world. Let's have a look at why it's so incredibly hard to get help. It's a really sad fact that most people who go through this end up suffering in silence. So what is it that stops them? What's holding them back from coming forward? You know, the honest answer is that it's just so painful and humiliating to talk about. There's this huge fear of being judged, or even worse, not being believed. It takes an incredible amount of courage to speak up when you feel that fragile and exposed to the world. And then, of course, there's the big practical question, right? What actually happens if you go to the police? It's the first port of call for many, but unfortunately, the journey isn't always as simple as it should be. And look, while reporting to the police is still a really important step, the reality is they can be up against it. Resources can be stretched, these cases can drag on for ages, and they might not have the specialized technical know-how to deal with the complexities of the internet. And that is exactly why you need specialists, like the team at Poe & Davis, who live and breathe this area of internet law. Now, this is a huge one, maybe the biggest fear of all. The very thought of taking legal action can feel like you're just putting yourself back in the spotlight, risking even more exposure. Okay, take a breath here, because this is so important. Yes, you can. The courts understand this fear and they can grant you anonymity. That means your name, your identity can be protected through the entire legal process. You do not have to sacrifice your privacy to get justice. All right, we've talked about the problem, we've talked about the hurdles. Now let's switch gears and talk about the solution. How do you actually get this horrible content taken down and start to feel in control again? You see, getting this stuff removed for good isn't just about sending one angry email. A proper, effective removal needs a coordinated attack from multiple angles. For example, the internet law specialists at Cohen Davis use 9 different legal and technical strategies to make sure the job is done properly. And what does that process actually look like? Well, it boils down to 3 clear steps. First, the experts get organized. They systematically track down what can sometimes be thousands of links and copies. Second, they deploy that powerful combination of 9 strategies to clean it all up. And third, the most important part, you get control back. You can start to rebuild your life without that fear constantly hanging over you. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room for a lot of people: money. How on earth can anyone actually afford to get this kind of expert legal help? Well, the good news is there are ways to make it accessible. Depending on the case, some firms might offer to work on a no-win, no-fee basis. There are also pro bono services out there. The absolute best first step is to just have an initial consultation to find out what the options are for your specific situation. And that really brings us to what might be the single most important point in all of this. You do not have to, and you should not have to, go through this on your own. Finding the right people to guide you is absolutely key. When you find the right people, one of the first things you should hear is something that sounds like this: "Don't worry, we've dealt with a case just like yours before." It's not just about legal expertise, it's about that reassurance, that feeling that they've walked this path with someone else and gotten them to the other side. And that experience should come with a promise that from the very first phone call, you'll be treated with support and understanding. You should never, ever be made to feel judged when you're reaching out for help. So this whole framework we've been walking through, the deep understanding of the law, the 9-pronged removal strategy, that supportive client-first approach, All of this comes from the dedicated internet law solicitors at Cohen Davis. They're the experts whose approach we've been outlining here. So, if you're listening to this and you feel ready to even just explore your options, here's what you can do. You can call Cohen Davis for a free and completely confidential chat. It's a simple first step to getting real, actionable advice and discreet support from people who truly get it. We'll leave you with this question, because taking action isn't just about deleting pictures. It's about deleting the fear. It's about reclaiming your life and your future. It's about deciding you're ready to move forward. Thanks so much for listening.